pride part of like trying to get the bag all the time is you can't always get the bag. Sometimes the bag is the opportunity.
RapDillz pills and exclusive, come slide.
Soup, welcome to RapDillz.
Yo.
Thank you for stopping through. More soup, please.
I appreciate you. Thanks for having me. For the people that don't know, I'm MoreSoupPlease from Newark, New Jersey, by way of Mount Vernon, New York, and I live in Brooklyn, New York now, and you can just call me Soup, you know. So.
Facts. Bro, to start off, want to salute you, man. Like, watching your journey, we knew each other from some years now, from working together on projects and stuff like that, but like, just salute you for everything you're doing on a high level.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you do a lot of things, but you do them on a high level. So as we're gonna get into for the interview, you're a photographer, you're a DJ, you're just an overall creative, but you do it all at a very high level. So I want to talk about, before we go into the beginning and end journey, how do you do everything at such a high level?
I mean, for me, how I look at it is I just do these things that I like to do, that I love to do. I love to do photography. I love to DJ. I love to play music that I didn't make and get paid. Like, I love it. So, take your time. It's gonna take time. Mm-hmm. I've been doing photography for 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
I've been, this is my 8th year in DJing,
mm-hmm.
and you gotta sacrifice, you gotta love it.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't love it, it's not gonna work.
Mm-hmm.
That love is gonna sustain you, it's gonna sustain the craft that you're building up. So if you don't love it, it's not gonna grow. You can't, just like you got a plant in the house, you don't love that plant, it ain't gonna grow.
Mm-hmm.
So continue to water it and be patient, and try to be perfect. I know everyone's like, oh, don't put that type of pressure. Nah, fuck that. Try to be perfect. Like, get manifest to the closest inch, centimeter, as close as you can get it to perfect. And from there, you're just gonna build and continue to work on it. Perfection is a journey. I'm not perfect. Like, I got mad shit to work on. Like, I'm definitely lazy. I'm definitely a human. I have my down periods where I'm not as productive. So, it's all a chase. You chasing perfection. And of course, like, on some mama shit. Kobe mentality. You definitely want to chase perfection. It's something you're going to chase for the rest of your life. So once you find things that you love and you continue to put that time into it and perfecting it, it's gonna be fruitful. If you don't love it, how is it gonna be fruitful for you? So that's why it's able to grow, because you've been fruitful to it, but now it could be fruitful to you. I do photography, I DJ, I make beats. I wouldn't say full-on producer yet. I haven't made songs for people or nothing, but definitely make beats. People don't know I draw and I paint visual arts. That's my gift, if I would say there's something. But hopefully it'll be a lot more of that to come in the future. Yeah, man, I'm here.
That's dope. That's a great answer. And you mentioned the mom, but I wanted to get into that just in the beginning of your journey. You also are an athlete. Well, or was an athlete, and you did that at a high level as well. Could you talk about what playing basketball taught you, or what it gave you? Was it the competitiveness? Was it the sacrifice and the hard work? What has being an athlete in your beginning years taught you that you use now?
I use everything from being an athlete, from playing basketball. I tell my mom sometimes, basketball saved my life. I've been playing since I was 5. My pops, really built a good relationship through basketball. A lot of my friend circles that I come into, it's because of basketball. I can always connect with people in this day and age. Basketball is a tool. It takes you places. Don't let it use you. Use it to take you places. I've been, in a lot of rooms because of basketball, and able to share a lot of conversations and spaces with people because of basketball. What I take from it, you gotta understand how to work with a team. You have to be accountable.
Right.
You can't get mad at the work, the results you didn't get because of the work you didn't put in. You shoot a jumper and it's bricks all night, but you saying you thinking it should have been up, you should have 30, but you ain't get up and go to the gym at all this week to go shoot and work on it. You put time in, what you mad at? You gonna get in life what you put in, you know. But routine, repetition.
Routine.
Specifically basketball, you know, I'm a point guard. You know, you gotta see the whole floor. You can't just look at the basket. You can't just be looking at one part. You gotta see the whole floor. So if you could get as good as you can seeing the whole floor, you're gonna see more opportunities. You know, it's about vision, and you know that even goes from, you know, us talking about basketball to like talking about spiritual shit. Like vision isn't always like for everybody. You can't be mad at people who don't got your vision or don't understand your vision. Like, it's not for them. I gave you the vision. You gonna see it through. And then they gonna see after it's done. And they gonna be like, oh. So that's how I move. Like a lot of people told me at the basketball, like I was wilding, trying to do photography. Oh, you should just get a job. Like you're out of college, you get a job. Nah, I'm like, I can do this. I'm gonna do this. This is done in my head. You just waiting for it to like manifest. Them same people have sent me clients, you know, has put money in my pocket and like never come to be like, yo, my bad, I ain't believing you, but like we're not here for that. Like as long as you support me now. It's the same thing when I was like, oh, photography's not really making me no bread, but like people getting a bag doing this DJ shit. Like I started to really dive into it as a music lover, you know, and like people told me the same thing. Yo, you might want to stick to one thing. I'm just like, this is my life. I'm not really worried about you, and you want to do one thing. That's cool. What works for you, works for you. I'm here to have multiple streams of income. I'm trying to have bags coming at me everywhere. I'm trying to go anywhere and be able to do these things that I love. So, you know, I wanted to DJ too. And now I've been to Tokyo, I've been to London, been to Berlin, I've been to LA, Toronto, Miami, Atlanta, DC. Yeah, all DJing. All the DJing.
Doing what you love too. That's,
you know, like I played my first festivals last year, and I played another one this year. I just played Rolling Loud. I played Afropunk before that, Rolling Loud in New York. You know, being a DJ that could, I will just say my resume is really bulked up over the years, and there's a lot of great highlights. So for me, you know, it's just amazing, and I'm competing. I'm not competing with like what people saying I can't do. I'm competing with myself, you know. I want this. How can I like upscale this? I want more. I want more. I'm hungry. So when I look at basketball, you always competing in yourself. When I look at sports, like there's always got to be that accountability to compete against yourself. Like, oh, I was this, I got to get better. It's better. It doesn't have to be a mile. It could be a couple steps every day. But like if you compound that, you know, them steps add up. Those feet become miles, and the miles become kilometers. And next thing you know, you from point A to point B. You know, you start to see results, you get addicted to it. And yeah, that's how sports has influenced like how I look at things, I would feel.
Word.
For sure.
And there's a lot of people that play sports and it's like their dream. I don't know if it was your dream to make it to the NBA and stuff like that, but it's a lot of people that do it without a plan B. And then once they finish school and get out of college, they don't know what they're gonna do. They don't know which direction they're gonna go. So I think it was a blessing that you knew what you wanted to do even after finishing school. But what was it that made you even pick up the camera? Like, what were you exposed to? How did you get your first camera to even start taking pictures?
The answer to the full question, like, yeah, I wanted to be an NBA, absolutely. What do you mean? I went to Mount Vernon High School and actually got cut from varsity, like, my senior year. But I still, like, I was like, look, I just want to be a part. And I was around as a practice player. And Mount Vernon's only 4 square miles. So it was a really small town. Everyone could hoop. I can go pick kids up off the in the park. I go pick them up and start a team, and like they might win a state chip. Everyone is real out there.
Okay.
So, shit. Where was I going with this? Oh, okay. So then, like when basketball finally stopped, I won 2 chips at 2 NCAA, not full tournaments. What was our? I'm trying to think our conference name. We won 2 conference chips, which gave us berths into the NCAA tournament.
Wow.
But we only made it like to second round, Sweet 16 was. But what I feel made me pick up a camera, it was like my last year at Purchase. I already done with my eligibility, so I'm sitting here. Instagram came out. And I had nothing to do. I'm at SUNY Purchase. And when I shout out Ice Spice, SUNY Purchase. Yeah.
Oh, what?
We're gonna rep her also. Samara Joy just won a Grammy. Yeah, shout out SUNY Purchase. But Instagram came out, and you got nothing to do at Purchase. You just walking around, you smoking weed, like just going to class, talking to girls. There's mad nature up there. And as somebody that's like, living in Mount Vernon, / Bronx, or like even going back to Newark, you don't really see this type of like greenery. So I was just always taking pictures and shit. And you had the horrible ass filters, the HDR filters. That's all Instagram was. It's what before it is now, the monster it is now. Like it was just taking photos, and you can only post 1 photo at a time. So it was like, all right, you just trying to like look cool, and this is the first time. Oh, I could take a photo of myself, and like. It's just dope, the type of stuff I look back on it very often. So I had a class, and I had a professor, Linda Solomon, and she looked at my Instagram. Mind you, like at Purchase, you could adjust your curriculum to your interest. So I was like, I want to learn something about social media because this thing just popped up. So I was taking a social media course for her. She was in charge of like the photography department for Culture Shock, which was like the spring festival. They had Flapper Zombies in the heyday, like just coming out, super tie-dye Flapper Zombies. She said day 1 was really shit. Hit me on the email, like, yo, I saw your Instagram. Go find this dude, get the camera, and go shoot.
Wow.
You'll be fine, because what I just got as photos is horrible. So I was like, shit, all right, I ain't doing nothing. So we ain't got this camera, it's a Nikon, like D8100, and I'm just like, I don't know we're gonna go figure this out. So I go into the pit. I'm walking into the Stud. That's what it was, the student center where they had it. So I'm walking in, and I happen to walk in this like the perfect time. I'm not even gonna lie to you, like right behind Flatbush Zombies, and I have on tie-dye, a tie-dye shirt. They have on tie-dye.
Wow.
I walked right up on the stage with niggas, like swear to God. So I'm up there, I'm like, oh shit. So then one of my mans is down there, he got a Nikon. So I walk up to him and I'm like, yo, what's going on? Like, they just gave me this. I explained the whole spiel. I'm like, you just help me set this to be able to work, blah, blah. And I had a flash on it. He set everything up.
Nice.
So shout out to him. So I'm sitting here, bop, 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 bop. School ended up liking the photos and whatnot, and I was like, oh, like I guess I could do this. Like I really like music, so I'm like, oh, all right, bet. So I stayed through, purchased another year, I was taking photos, yada yada, and like taking photos at home as well. And at the one point, I left Purchase. I was like, damn, I really need to like get a camera. I had talked to my mom about it and shit. That like I've been really interested in this for the last couple of months, and she. By the grace of God, like my mom has a brand spanking new D3200 under her bed.
Wow. That
she brought off QVC like a year ago, and then forgot about it because she was gonna do something with it. She didn't. Like, I got that camera and I took to the streets, and I was trying to understand, figure out everything. And like I read this book called Understanding Exposure that really taught me the ins and outs of like manual to understand them as metaphors. So, like that was amazing. I had a bunch of photography friends. It was a group thing, I would say. It was a community. I got into a community and like we all loved it and we all came up in it. So it was just, it takes a village to raise a child. I didn't learn everything on my own. I'm definitely self-taught and self-motivated, self-driven, but it's also like just being in that still sports type of culture of like being competitive and to a healthy degree with other people and seeing stuff and like, all right, I'm watching Street Dreams mag, like running through the tunnels and in the subways, and I'm like, I want to do that shit. That shit look dope. So like, cool. I ain't really making it in the tunnels, but like I'm taking, like it's pushing me to like, how would I do things if I could do things, you know, and start to show people like what it is I see, because I see things all the time. You know, I think I love photography. I think it's a very, 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 very raw form of perception. You can literally look at a photo and you are directly seeing what that person is seeing, their perspective. You know, with music, you hear and like, you know, depending on someone's understanding of music, you're gonna get different things, you know. But with art, everything's left up to assumption, you know. But I feel it's about being clever, and if you could trap someone into the same idea, like that's what really is like the concept there. But in photography, here's the picture, this is what you see. Like it's very straight to the point. Yeah, that's how I got into photography.
That's dope, because even in your story, it's like people wonder like, how do you get that good? How do you become a better photographer and stuff? And like you said, you did the research, like you read the book about exposure, and you asked people like, yo, how do you do this and stuff like that. And what's also dope about that story is that you got exposed like at such a dope situation, it being a hip hop show and it being photography. So like your first time at like getting the opportunity to do it, it was hip hop based.
It was music I knew too, like, cause like we knew Flatbush Johnny's was coming. So like, I'm sitting here watching videos, like we on YouTube, listening, smoking, like, yeah, all right, cool, we're getting ready, cause I'm gonna enjoy this. Cause my tuition going towards this shit, right? So bet. But like that was really dope. I've been to concerts before, but like now being there and being like, oh, I have this now urge to capture things. I don't really go to shows now unless I can shoot them. Unless I gotta DJ them and I'm just going for free, like unless I can shoot, I really don't go to concerts no more. It's just like, I'd be pissed and whatnot, because I know the heat I could catch. But in regards to like taking that time to research thing, I think I bring it back to sports. When I wanted to learn how to be good at basketball, like I went and watched Kobe, I went and watched like Michael Jordan. I sat here and learned about them. Like, you gotta study the people doing exactly what it is you doing to even understand how you gonna do it. How has it been done at a high level? Bet. How can I do it at a high level? Like understanding that this is what it's gonna take. So, you know, we can't cut corners, and you gotta study. You gotta study people. When I started DJing, like I was sitting here studying. I was sitting here like, cool. I got in, you know, through, you know, SoundCloud and the selection, K-Tronada Wave, and I'm like, cool. I was doing that, but then I started to understand what the mainstream DJs were, and me being from New York, I already like know about Funk Flex, you know, and heavy hitters, and I'm just like, you know, starting to pay attention to like the actual technicalities of it and learning turntablism a bit, you know, dabbling. I wouldn't say I'm a turntablist, but like I'm starting to really get interested in it, you know, understanding about like Jazzy Jeff and Histories of Scratch, you know, the originals, you know, Clark Kent, Stretch Armstrong, like even like going back in hip hop history when we think about, you know, DJ Cool, Red Alert, when we think about Grandmaster Flash, you know, like this is something, and you gotta preserve the history. And the only way you can kind of preserve the history is by at least knowing it. You know, it's on you to what you do and how you decide to, you know, pass it on in your own way. You know, but at the same time, a lot of people not even aware of a lot of names that like I know. Not saying just me, but like that have stood before me. So
right.
I think you gotta understand where that craft, the history of that craft is, and to understand how you about to try to push it forward, and how you could propel it forward. You know, I look at in photography, like I've looked up Gordon Parks, it's my favorite photographer. Like I've looked up how he documents things, and I would say for me, that's really important is like how he documented Muhammad Ali. If I could say look at one photography book, you see Muhammad Ali pictures, and it's always, triumphant, strong, blah, blah. He documented Muhammad Ali, and it made him look like a person and not just a superhero, like as we're taught, because we weren't alive, when he was doing all this Rumble in the Jungle and civil rights era stuff. But like to see these photos of Muhammad Ali, there's one of my favorite photos. He's standing in the bathroom doorway and he's praying with a robe on. It's like you would never think that it's a whole different image or like different feeling that the photo evokes, compared to like him in the ring standing over who he just knocked out, blah, blah. Like, it's just like you could tell a story by your decisions. And I look at, how Gordon Parks documents things a lot. I revisit it and I'm like, I think I know how I want to document things, and I have to be able to make decisions.
Yep.
On, a lot of times you go into a situation, you see the subject, especially talking about like music-wise, like you already kind of figured out where you're taking your shot from. You just trying to now stay there and like make sure you're ready for the right move. And, and that's when we had the bum-ass cameras. Now, like, we Sony boys now, like it's like big card, and we're gonna get, especially like zoom lenses, the way technology is, it's not even fair. But I say all that to say, just like through basketball, it's consistent. Basketball is consistent in my photography, it's consistent in my DJing. You gotta look back, you gotta sit there and understand like where this came from, that it's gotten to you, and like to understand where you're gonna be able to push it. If you don't take that time, like you're just gonna be disrespecting the craft because you don't know where it came from. Just like, everyone's super sensitive when we get to like, racial, any type of issues, and there's always some type of slap on the hand, and you have to go, through some program that's gonna give you knowledge, make you more knowledgeable about the subject matter. I feel like with everything today, with all these different crafts, I feel like there needs to be some type of, we need to start smacking each other in the hand. Hey, you need to just go do some research. Like, and I'm not even the most knowledgeable person about these things that I love, but like, I got to do more research as well. Like, we all got to. We can never stop learning. You're not going to know everything. Do you think that's the responsibility of like people like you, like leaders of the creative culture, to these young kids coming up to be the one to be like, because they also say that you have to learn how to learn. So it's like a lot of these kids teach themselves just as we did and all of that, but like mentorship is very important. So I'm sure there's people that you take under the wing and stuff like that, but do you think that's responsibilities for people like us and people like you to teach these, to teach the youth coming up, like, this is the things you have to study? Kind of how you're doing in this interview, but like, do you have younger youthful people that you take under the wing and like show them this is the way, or is that something that you want to do or gonna do? I mean, I would love to get more involved with school systems and making an effort to, I would guess, change the narrative and getting a group effort together to change the narrative and changing the resource pool, because I didn't even know you could do this. In high school, I knew they just exist, but I didn't know they were like making money. I didn't know this was a career, but like,
and it's like knowing that part of it, right?
No one really knows that, so I wasn't exposed until later in life. So when I look at younger people, I want them to know about it. Just like I feel like an elective that should be offered in like schools, like breakdancing. Breakdancing is dance. It's dance.
For sure.
It's dance, and it's like something, I don't want to say it's dying, but like you don't really see it. It's very rare you see it, and I just don't get it. Like, it is still out here and it's still thriving. So, but that's like a history lesson. That's all right, cool. You diving in and understanding hip hop to now go seek out that. So why? I feel like hip hop should be taught in schools regardless. I feel like DJing should. I think just as like photography is and is available, but like it's not available to all of us. Right. And that's what we got to work on. So of course, I want to do something for, if I could have any type of control to just run some type of mentorship program, yeah, I'm definitely interested, and it's something I would love to build out. But still, I ain't there yet. I got to get this bag. I'm saying still trying to build out, my infrastructure, and, you got to put your gas mask on first before you can help others. But I have a bunch of DJs that I take a liking to, and I don't want to say like bring under the wing, because like everyone around me is just so fucking talented at this point. But anytime I can make a play and pass the ball, that's what being a point guard is.
Right.
Like, you don't just see stuff for yourself. I don't think just score.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a point guard. I don't see just score no more. Like, don't get me wrong. I am a score force guard, but like, I'm still gonna get my assist off. I'm still gonna give you a double-double, and it's gonna be 10 assists for sure.
And we're seeing that with like your name, because you're so prominent in the DJ community, but your name is always like the top one, like MoreSoupPlease. But like even you sharing that space with other DJs on that flyer, and like, because your reach on social media is so big, like, so there's things you are doing. We see the assists if we're looking for them. They're definitely there. And just the artist community. Let's talk about that, because like I said it before, but you definitely, because you do both things, like you're, especially in New York City, you're at the forefront of the creative community in New York City, and you got that on lock. How important is it being in a community, like, and having relationships with other creatives? How did that help your career as a DJ, as a photographer? Like, let's talk about that, just the community, the creative community.
The way I look at it, like the DJ shit and the photography shit, like it's all one thing to me at this point. It goes hand in hand. The people that I meet and I know from photography that like are the creatives, the cool people, like the X factor that comes to my parties, and it's just there. So that's already built into my brand, I feel. But now the DJ shit, like people who are just finding out about me and coming because they know me as a DJ, it's cross-pollinating, and they're following me and figuring out, oh, this dude is, kind of fire behind camera, like this is dope. And they're now putting my name in rooms that like I'm not in. And I wouldn't know about, because I'm thinking they're here for one thing, but like, because now you're seeing everything, because that's what you're seeing on the timeline, is both of them at the same time. Like there's a lot of opportunities coming. So I think the community part is a big thing, being friends with creatives, like, and just being able to connect with creators and network, works, especially when you do two things that everyone somewhat has access to. Everyone has access to a phone. They're gonna see your photos. Everyone has access to music. They're gonna hear your mixes. They're gonna hear, even if it's just them, exorbitant content. Like I put up recaps of me DJing for my parties, so people just look like, oh, that's fucking dope. Like, I'm cool. I'm going to one of the parties and shit. I think it goes hand in hand. Your network is your net worth.
For sure.
Like, don't get me wrong, like you can have 500 people in a room, 300 people, 500 people, but it matters on really who's in the room, who's coming. Like, it's about the quality, not the quantity. I think I have a really, diverse crowd and a very eccentric crowd at the same time.
Right.
And just a productive crowd. Everyone, we ain't on no bullshit at my parties. We ain't fighting nobody. We ain't doing no one's getting harmed and shit. So we're just here to all have a good time. Me as a DJ, like, I'm here to serve the people. So, serve people is to serve God, So when I sit there and look at all of this, like, we're doing a service every week. People working 40, 60, 80 hours a week. Like, they find a fire DJ, like, I'm going there. Because people gonna remember not what you played, they're not gonna remember what you said on the mic, they gonna remember what they felt, and people get addicted to feelings. So if you could sit there and take people through nostalgia and make them relive some of their favorite moments and whatnot, they gonna just keep on coming back. So I just try to create that reference point for everyone to find their way back. They go out, do their stuff in the week. All right, we here. We come in, it's a community. We all doing it together. Like, I've been playing a lot of the same sets for the last couple of years, and I mean, it works. But I put a little spin on it or something. But we all come to sing. I love R&B.
Yep.
Play R&B, and love hip hop. But just being able to have the people in unison sing shit, or being able to get ready to go off at their favorite verse, you know, like that shit's a superpower, I feel. And I love it.
I say, do you get a rush off of that, like controlling a crowd and making, just seeing everybody smiling and dancing off of the songs that you choose to play and curate?
It's addictive. I would definitely say it's addictive.
I can see why, though. I can see why, for sure.
You know, it's I would say it's good control.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't really think I don't think control is a great thing. I think you gotta let things change and let things flow, but at the same time, like, as a DJ, you control the room. That's my space. This is my little world. Welcome. You know, but at the same time, you gotta still serve the people. So I'm looking at, like, the demographic. You know, if we're talking about age, we're talking about sex, we're talking about, gender, we're talking about, you know, race. We're talking about clothing, like being able to look at people's clothes and just like I try to understand, and you trying stuff out to see if they're gonna react, and like, you know, you try to learn what's going on. Who's really in the room, and try to play to that. So I think it goes hand in hand, man. I got a little community that kind of supports me, and I'm thankful for it. And every day that I DJ, I definitely like leave like, yo, I feel like I stole money because I ain't making none of these songs, you know. But I ain't making none of these songs.
Them.
You
like, curated them, and you knew what's the song. And I kind of want to get into that quick question. It's like, say you're in a set, you're doing a set in a room, and like the vibes is down before you got on. It's like nobody's really dancing. Everybody's really. What's the go-to song to turn everybody's mood upside down? Or what's the go-to mix, the transition? Like, what's your go-to? Not to give all your sauce and everything.
I mean, it's all good. I can give the sauce. You can't do what I do. I give anyone my playlist. Like, cool. You might play a better party than me, but you're not gonna do what I do.
Do what you do, for sure.
Period. Like, but that's a hard question. It's not. I've been in many rooms where like I'm walking in and like the DJ didn't hold it up, and you know, a lot of people look at the parties and they're like, okay, cool, it's just someone set. No, we are just like little slots in one machine, a 6-hour machine. You know, you got a 2-hour opening, 10 to 12, 12 to 2 is the meat of the sandwich, and then you got a nice close from 2 to 4. You know, if someone didn't do their job and you walking in and the crowd is dead, like the last DJ didn't do their job. And that's never supposed to happen. Everyone's coming, we're getting paid to do a job.
Right.
This is not your personal playlist.
Right.
Put that shit, put the mixes up on SoundCloud so people could hear all the shit that you just want to hear. I understand taking risk and everything, but you got to service the party.
Right.
So
that's
when I walk in and I see the like people not dancing, not feeling it and shit, like, depending on what, because I'm usually there, I'm never just walking in and it's just like, oh, where no one's dancing, let me just start playing. Like, I've definitely heard the last 20 minutes of the last set. So I'm sitting here like, all right, bet I make a decision based off what was played, but isn't a go-to songs. I think it's a matter of building trust, because like for an hour or two, the last DJ been bumming it up and y'all not dancing, and the bar ain't moving because y'all not dancing, and y'all might leave. So I think, being able to get on, and create that break, whether you get on the mic, I'm not really a mic guy. Like, I'll come and just maybe drop my little tag a little bit and just play a vibe. And, we got hook, verse, I'm blending into the next vibe and creating this consistency, and people are like, oh, that was a good blend, what's going on? All right, cool. Next thing you know, 5 songs in, people's vibing is really dancing. We up. I might be juggling a little bit. I try to play. What's a good song? Just a thought about it. For the Night, Music Soul Child. Is a great fucking song to literally just drop out of nowhere. Just drop. Boom. Like, great beat. That or Catering Out to Be a Girl. Like, at this point, I think it's commercial and everyone knows it, and it's just like the vibe. But you could play that song out of nowhere, and people gonna be like, "Oh, all right, this is what we hear." You know, so if I had to say specific songs for me, like I know I could sit there and drop that, and then freak it a certain way, and I already got the next 5 songs ready to go. So it's about to go up. But yeah, I just, you know, I never want to walk into a set and people are not dancing.
Yeah.
But if they are, just know DJs, you didn't do your job.
Yep.
People gotta be dancing. People not dancing, are you DJing? Or are you just playing music for yourself?
Yep.
Can't just do that.
That's interesting because you said something about it might be 4 different slots in one night and stuff like that, and like a lot of these DJ slots, a lot of them is most likely playing the same songs, but it's about how you do it. And you also just said that you said you're not gonna play it how I play it and stuff. It's
a big rule. I know from like the older DJs, like you shouldn't repeat songs, and like I agree to it to an extent, but like at the same time, like I think everything needs to be done tastefully. Like don't play Lola Brooke, don't play with it before 12 o'clock, before 1 o'clock.
Right.
Don't. There's mad other music to play. Like Ice Spice, like, you know, blah like cool. I'll give you Boys a Liar, Ice Spice, you know, Pink Panthers, like cool. You get to play that before 12, like just because of the space that the music lives in. I think you got to use, you know, your own judgment on stuff. I know people who's dropping Uzi at 10:30, 10:45. Uzi, I want to rock going on. Right. I'm just like, yo, this is not the yo, you burning out tracks that I'm playing them back. You played it wrong, and like you kind of make yourself look bad because I'm about to play it right.
Because you're just trying to get it off.
Yeah,
you know,
like
it's like an easy. I actually heard Flex talked about that back in the Tunnel days, like. When Flex came on, he was the one I was gonna play all the hits.
Yeah.
All the DJs before you, I just gotta find
find the groove.
Gotta find the groove.
Find the groove.
That could be a challenging thing though. Like that's interesting.
What do you mean? The challenge is the rule is don't play the hits.
Yeah.
If it's a hit, don't play it. Yeah. So you have other songs, especially in today's days. It's not like we walking around with crates.
Exactly.
Like you have other songs. Hopefully you're not on USBs. Where like, all right, bet I plan this set and it's only the hits. Now you can't pivot. Like, and, you know, like hopefully you're more prepared whether you're on USBs, on Serato, like to play B-sides. You know, 10 to 12 is B-sides, is you know, nice drinking vibes. I like 100 BPM or like, you know, hip hop shit. But the energy, another thing, I would just say, for me as a DJ, like, I only play for ladies. Like, I don't, like, don't get me wrong, we could have a turned up, like, you know, Meek Mill night, Rick Ross, like, we could just play Rick Ross Future, but it's just like, yo, it's only but so much, like, that's about to do. You gotta create an environment where, like, you know, women will feel safe in it, where, like, you know, both guys and girls, well, everyone could just actually talk to one another. I feel like that's what parties are. It's not this turned up. Let's just turn up. I don't do the bottle popping spots. You know, I don't. I'm not a bottle popping DJ. So you're never gonna be in there and it's gonna feel like, you know, Meek Mill in the room and Rick Ross and they just throwing money fast. Like we're not. Like, don't get me wrong. I know how to play into those little cuts and we're gonna take it there, but it's always gonna be a vibe where people could connect and talk, because, you know, me specifically, I'm bringing out my creative friends. You know, my creative friends want to be there. I want them to meet meet people from, like, you know, these could be potential clients for people within my network. I want people to be able to, like, come in and talk and create new business opportunities, you know, with each other off just meeting at my parties. Even whether it's like the business side or it's like the romantic side too, like, you know, I know people who, like, are married and, like, expecting kids because they met at my parties and shit, you know, so, like, that shit is dope. I just want people to be able to connect, and a lot of times, like, don't get me wrong, yeah, hip-hop shit is fire, but that can't be 90% of the fucking night. Like, you know, like, you have to play, you know, for everyone to be able to two-step and kind of talk and, you know, blah, blah. It should be an atmosphere where, like, you know, someone could walk up to you that you don't know you and just start talking. So I try to focus on that beyond anything. I don't know if that was even adjacent to the question you asked, but I
Nah,
was just
that's
like
a-
thought about
that's
that,
a
and I was
great
like, yo,
point.
I gotta say that.
I'm glad you're on that, and I agree with it. If the ladies is having a good time in the club, everybody having a good time in the club. Like honestly,
Everybody,
that's
like
what you got to move the ladies, and they not always gonna be in the mood to bang bang this that. Like they.
like
No matter if the ladies having a good time in the club for the club to be a good night, honestly.
Beyonce, Rihanna,
Yeah.
like you gonna have to play it. Like Aaliyah, you gonna have to play these songs. You know.
Man. And like you said in the beginning, you really have to have a knowledge about music. And then that's what I'm learning. Not to get too technical in it, but like how important is knowing BPMs and knowing rhythms and BPMs for like transactions. Like somebody, there could be a DJ that might just play this song and because this the next popping song, try to make it a transaction. How much do you use like your feel or actually use the science of music with BPMs and stuff? Do you this BPM into this BPM, gonna make it this tempo into this tempo? Like, is it more of a feel for you?
I would say it is feeling, but I operate within like certain rules. So like BPM's got to match. Like it's time. If it doesn't match up in time, it's not gonna make it on time.
Okay.
You know? So yes,
Okay.
BPMs absolutely matter. They do matter. You need to be able to do the math, whether you're in double time and
Right.
this 160 track is going to line up with this 120 track because it's divisible. You know, like cool, it's going to work. You know, you got to be able to do that math and on the fly.
Is there cases where you could speed up or slow down a song so the transaction
absolutely.
better?
Absolutely.
So that's something for up and coming DJs to know. So you have to
Your
study that,
BPMs,
huh?
your BPMs got to line up. So if I got a track that's like 70 and a track that's 72, y'all better decide on a number. Which track is moving up, or you're meeting both tracks in the middle, you know, or another track is moving down. But like if it's not synced up, you know, time signature wise, it's not gonna work. Maybe sometimes it does work, but like it gotta be like, oh, for this part that you transitioning, the beat done went out and there's some weird like, you know, leads going on, lead chords, like, and then it just lines up at the same time. It's like sometimes music just happens that way. But I feel like definitely understanding music structure. Like I hear a lot of people blending halfway through the hook, and like, but it is not done right. So then the hook comes before the person's done with the verse. Is like words over words is always bad. Please stop blending words over words. It doesn't work unless it's like literally wordplay, like it's a conversation, like there's gaps and you actually did the time to figure out where these gaps are. So it's like a conversation on one song and then they stop talking on this song, and then they stop talking, they talking back. But other than that, like no words over words, man. I think it should be, you know, you got intro, 8-bar intro or 4-bar intro, depending on the song, maybe sometimes 16. And then you have like, you know, the hook or verse, depending on the song. I think you should be blending your intro beat over the hook of the song to make it very simple.
Okay.
If you could do that, and you should be able to practice blending the same song over one another to end up at the same point. And if you could just practice that and figure it out, just blending is gonna be easy. I really don't wear headphones at this point. Like I'm playing a lot of songs I already know, or I've already worked out the new songs that I am bringing into rotation. I've already like practiced at home and work them out. So like a lot of times I'm just counting music and counting the beats, you know. So not counting the BPMs, I'm counting like the beats. So like, you know, the drums, snare, like counting and whatnot. 1, 2, 3, 4. I feel like a lot of my favorite DJs like move within the same parameters, the same rules.
Okay.
You know, it's always like lined up. It's always the same BPM, and I always hear them dropping on the 1. I don't know where people are dropping on the 3, but like that's not it. And that's what made me at Afropunk realize I was like, oh, I need to come. I want to DJ because like I played cello growing up, I count music just I guess naturally at this point. But yeah, I feel like it's a vibe. I feel like I know enough about music to have an opinion on it, and that's why people come back to hear me DJ.
For sure. That's why you
know,
booked up throughout the whole month, every month,
just
man.
trying to
It's at a
keep
high
the lights
level,
on,
man.
Got to keep the lights on.
It's at a high
For
level,
sure.
yo. Y'all getting a master class right now on DJ photography. You really dropping jewels. And I know I keep going back to saying this, but you said you can't do it how you not. They can't be you. And recently, just in the times we in, with this AI thing, like Spotify just announced a virtual DJ that's gonna create playlists and even give commentary on it, like an AI voice and stuff. How do you feel about AI, the pros, the cons, and how could you or would you implement it into your creative?
I think it can be implemented, but I'm also like on the fence about it. I think, you know, where it will be useful for me, how I would use it, like I would definitely use it to like, you know, get another opinion on playlists, because you're gonna say things like unbiasedly and give me songs that I might have not thought about, you know. So like, yeah, absolutely. If you're saying here like, oh, I'm gonna give you this mix of like 80s hip hop, you're gonna give me some shit that like I'm not gonna think about because I have my biased opinion of who I liked, and you know, in the 80s and shit. And cool, like I like that, but to think that an AI is going to be able to achieve rhythm. Rhythm is a human quality. Rhythm is improvisation based on reaction to, like, you know, sounds, you know, sonic waves. So it's just how is this robot going to improv rhythm, you know, in the groove, if we want to say, like, how, if we're teaching it. Yes, it could learn and to mimic us, and I think even maybe with so much information, still only regurgitate parts or, like, you know, pieces of information it already has to formulate something. But to think that it's just true improv rhythm, I think is I think we're light years away from.
Okay.
I'm not saying it's impossible, because like there are things that, you know, in 1,000 years, like we're gonna be like, wow, you know, you can time travel, and as a black person, we can't time travel that far. Like, it's just literally crazy. We can't go back too far, can't go forward too far. It's
That's
like,
crazy. That's a great point.
We gotta chill on time travel as black people. Like, it might not be safe in the future. Like, so,
What?
I just don't see, you know, and I've done stuff with AI, like asking the AI, yo, what's the BPM of this song? What's the BPM of Maxwell, Don't Ever Wonder? And it's giving me 93 BPM. I know religiously that's a 96 BPM song.
Oh, wow.
Like, so I'm like, yo, what is the BPM of Uzi I Wanna Rock? It's giving me, oh, like this is 78. I know damn well that is a 75 or 74 BPM song. You know, if we want to just still go back to R&B, yo, what is the BPM of, you know, Be Happy, Mary J. Blige? That is a 93, 94 BPM. It's giving me something else. It's giving me like 96. And I was like, again, rhythm, teaching you rhythm. Like, we are light years from, one, I think being able to teach a robot rhythm, I think, not light years. I probably rhythm, teaching them like how to interpret rhythm, but for it to improv rhythm, to really be like, yo, I'm walking in as a DJ and there's a robot DJing, like, yeah, that's not happening. There's too many intangibles, but all this DJing, all these different things that people see on the outside are just a series of improvisations. Like, so, yeah, you could maybe mimic what it is you see, but like, will you truly be a DJ, or will I have just been automated into a DJ space? You feel me? Into like a DJ robot. It's you know, I think it's up for interpretation. I don't think that a robot is going to just come out and just be able to dance and feel rhythm. So, you know, hate me if
No, that's a very thought out, smart outlook on it and opinion. So we're far away from seeing like a flyer that says DJ Spotify AI, or like that's the DJ that's literally
absolutely not. Absolutely not. We're not far from that.
We're not far from that.
Like there's bread in that. If you seeing DJ culture today, you know, from the label, from the company sides, like, oh, we could create there's been AI fashion models. What you mean we can't? We are Spotify. There's gonna be an AI DJ, and we're gonna call it something, and we're gonna sit there and have like Spotify events where our AI DJ. I absolutely think that's gonna happen and whatnot. Like, y'all saw the NDA, yo, Spotify, don't steal my shit. You know, Bob. But you feel me, like. I absolutely feel like that's something. I wouldn't be surprised if like that happened, but at the same time, like human connect. I don't think a robot is going to be able to sway the people, the masses, the crowds better than like a DJ that can connect, that can sit there and read emotion on people's faces without, you know, and make decisions, improv decisions based off what they see in real time.
Right.
You know, like. I don't think that's ever going to be a thing. And if it is going to be a thing, we are light years away from that.
Right.
So.
Right. In my opinion, like for them to curate a party, it's like you said, it's about feeling, it's about soul and knowing what's happening in the environment. So it's like, I feel like they would have to implement some type of camera or something like to the AI in a way, because it's like,
it would have to
it's also through sight that you're,
you have to see
what's happening.
You gotta watch the people. Like this isn't like
seeing somebody saying happy birthday over there and over there to know that, oh, I should probably play a birthday song, 50 Cent, Go Shorty or something like that. Like,
but that's what I'm saying is like that improv, like the DJs, the AI DJ that is making playlists on Spotify is never going to be the party DJ. Because all right, cool. You've loaded up your playlist of what you're gonna do now. Like maybe if there's like maybe another AI there and that's watching the party and like feeding prompts based off what it like. Who knows? But it's not gonna be one computer if this was a thing. And I don't ever think that like a DJ is going to be replaced by AI. There's too many intangible skills. There's too many. Inner conversations happening live. There's too much planning. Like, yeah, you can give a supercomputer all the songs that I have, but like, if they're telling you to play a Jay-Z set, like you're not playing a Jay-Z set better than me. You know, no computer is playing a better R&B set than me. I don't give a fuck who thinks anything different and whatnot. Like, I put my rep on that. It is what it is. But I'm just saying, like, if there is a place or a time where we are going to be obsolete, it is not going to happen in my lifetime. So I'm secure.
That's dope, and you made me agree with that with the DJing thing. Now, in other spaces, AI is taking away jobs and positions. Like as far as in our photography space with editing of photos, that's something that's like in back in like more years back, like you really have to be skilled and know how to use Lightroom or whatever the apps is. Now you could put a photo in, and it's like, and they also say about AI, it's about how you prompt it. It's about the question that you ask it or the detail that you tell it to do. So it's like they're saying all people like should just put 12 to 15 hours in learning how to prompt AI.
Yeah.
And that way you could use AI to your advantage, because it's like you could tell them edit this photo and make it less dark, or you could tell them edit this photo, make it less dark with a hint of tint on the left with this and that, and bring down the exposure and clarity, or like, and then the photo will come out even better. But so like in photography, there's in graphic design, we're gonna lose jobs, and so in certain spaces we could see that it's gonna take over certain positions. But I agree with you with DJing, it's too much of a human element. But how do you feel about that?
When I think of that, I think, yeah, we're going to lose jobs like the photo editor, but like there's still going to be somebody prompting. There's still going to be a human element.
That's where it's going to go, the prompt.
This isn't going to be like a self-sufficient robot. Like AI is now this super library of information, like that this overall thing is being fed by millions of people to prompt to do millions of different things. So yeah, the evolution has begun, y'all. Like it's learning. It's definitely learning, but like I don't think we're in some place where like it's gonna be self-sufficient and think on its own. And I think like with the information gathered, you know, because to my point, how can you do something if you don't learn the history? So like right now is being taught the history of things, like whether it's through us and like what we decide to prompt it, whether it's connectivity to the internet to be able to like actually like, be able to get a prompt, to get a specific word in a prompt and now have direct like line to the internet to understand what that prompt means and now do something based off now the pieces in the prompt, you know, like yeah, like that type of connectivity, like that's amazing. Like I think AI is definitely useful, but I think when you talk about, you know, is it sustainable? Is it not sustainable? Is it self-sufficient? No, there's always going to be a human element, but we can't move at that rate or with that type of. Wow, I just thought about it. Maybe they can improv. Because all the prompts, like, we're not telling them what to do. All the prompts that you're putting in and then they're coming up with something, I think there is improvisation to a degree, but not in the sense of like humanity, like what makes humans human, you know, in regards of improvisation. But I think, yeah, this shit is crazy.
This shit is getting crazy.
This shit is crazy. Yo, I just was like, I was sitting here like, I need some party names. Just like fucking around, like. And they was spitting out some heat. Like, I can't hold you. I'm like, it's up. All right, bet. But,
Yep.
I think it's useful and it's a tool to be aware of because it's not going anywhere. Like, remember they were saying, crypto ain't going nowhere. I still have some faith in crypto.
Right.
AI is going nowhere. It's going to be here and it's going to be implemented into everything, piece by piece, upgrade by upgrade, you know, like, so figure out the companies backing it, buy into the stock. Free game, definitely try to buy in if you can, but also learn how you could use it to your advantage because now things like people want a resume, like a template and don't know, like they go on Google and they gotta like learn how to make a resume. You just type it in and they gonna make a resume template. Right. You know, like, or a prompted like, a guide, use it as a learning tool because I think it's the next evolution. Like the internet was the first and now AI is the upgrade to the internet, just like we had, you know, Serato crates, like we had freaking vinyl crates to the scratch boxes to now Serato control vinyl to now not even needing the needle and having the phase needles, the wireless needles you're putting on it. Like we here now, we phase needles, but on the, I think, overall information consumption side, yeah, this is an upgrade, AI. You could use it to learn things. I want to learn how to do photography. Write me a prompt on how to learn manual exposure on a photography. Boom. You feel me? Like, we're never going to be able to move that fast. Exactly. So I think AI is definitely, you know, going to help us learn more in regards to being able to organize information and concise it quickly and be able to access. Like, remember we would say our parents never had access to the things that we had. We have never had access to like shit like this AI shit. So we are the first, so everyone should definitely be well versed in it and trying just playing around to understand what it is you can do. I wasn't really a fan of like the AI artwork everybody's doing, they face scan shit, but like at the same time I scan my face to open my phone, so they got me already if they are. But yeah, like
it's like get with it or get left behind type of thing.
My whole thing is evolve. I don't want to say or die, but like evolve. We gotta evolve.
Got it.
Like,
and adapt.
Yeah, evolve and adapt because times is changing. And these tools could be very beneficial to you learning a new skill. Like, cool, because of this, like, I could sit there and I might come back in the year and, like, be doing something else. Yeah, I learned doing AI. Like, you know,
For
like,
sure. For
like
sure.
AI, give me a guide to learn coding. Code.
Right there.
You could learn this stuff, guys. Like, use it. Take your time, like, to really understand it. There might be something that you're trying to do, and you've never really seen a way before. But like with this AI shit, you could kind of figure it out. Like, the more I think about it right now, like definitely. But DJing, like, nah.
On that part,
that is
nah.
a human thing, and is we are light years before it being something outside of a human thing for sure.
For sure, and we're actually gonna move on from AI, but just as an example of things I use it for, and like in our space as freelancers and business owners, I'm saving money on lawyer fees as far as contracts. Like now, I'm just telling CPG like, write me a agreement for filming this event, for this price, this, that, and me owning the rights to the content, this, that, like, and it's just spitting out contracts.
Spitting bars.
Bars, like.
Oh, word, like, you want this?
I'll bring it to the lawyer and they be like, this is it. It's not missing nothing, like, so there's ways that we could use it and that we're gonna use it that could help us as freelancers and creators.
Absolutely.
Just think about it. Just think about it. But
contracts, templates, like blueprints, mock-ups, like, yo, the tools are here. You can literally go and do anything you want to do. So get with it, but just don't think that you about to, you know, teach yourself how to DJ with AI.
That's not gonna happen.
You're not about to learn to DJ from the AI.
That's not
gonna
gonna happen.
learn from real people.
For sure. And the DJ, like, the power always been in the DJ. If it was from breaking records, if it was from making people feel good, but like a new thing that's solidifying with our social media and technology, that's like just reassuring how important a DJ is. It's a lot of these TikTok trends that's happening. Like, for example, what's happening with the Beyonce songs, the Coi Leray songs, the Ice Spice songs, and these DJs making these blends that's giving the song a whole nother life. Let's talk about that and how is that happening? Why is that happening? And like, what space are we in to where like these DJs are curating the music that's going viral, or like giving songs a whole new life from?
I think TikTok is really doing this thing. The algorithm's going crazy, but you gotta have fire content. So one, shout out to New York for holding it down, because New York is getting it. If you want to talk about DJ Sage or Coi Leray remix with Busta Rhymes, you know, Put Your Hands Where I Can See over it, like, that's the official remix now. You know, we got Cedric, you know, from Long Island, and we got the Beyonce Cuff It Wetter remix through Cuff It over Wetter. Wetter's a 118 or 120 BPM. So Cuff It is a 115 or 114, 115, like speeding that up and like putting that blend on there to the point Beyonce went and re-recorded her vocals a little faster, a different whole like feel and cadence on it to fit Wetter. Even got some different lyrics in there, like, is incredible. I think, you know, that is a first, and it's really empowering DJs and giving us the power back of breaking records and, you know, you being able to, one, get paid, because like Eccentric, that's an official remix now. With DJ Sage, that is an official remix now. They're getting streaming off of it, so they're getting royalties as intellectual property, you know, so I think that is amazing, and it's giving DJs back the power. You know, not only, you know, can you put together a playlist and really break new artists on your playlist, because that's how, if you're not the radio, and like, you know, shout out to everyone that I know in radio, if you're not the radio, you know, how are you really breaking records? Playlists are breaking records. Like, yeah, don't get me wrong, I think I could throw your song on in a party, but like, people not gonna know it, and they just gonna be confused and like, all right, I guess this is cool. Like, yeah, I'm going to jam this. Like, now you got to keep people's attention. Like back in the day, you could break a record and people could hear shit for the first time and be mesmerized because they don't have phones and like, I got to know what this is. This is dope because we really like, oh, this right now and be present and experience this. Now, like, you know, it's hard to do it in parties, you know. I feel like playlists are breaking records, and when you have situations like this, when I don't even think we're breaking records by getting remixes. I just think that we're getting more power in our own artistry, you know, and more validation, you know, from the artist and more connection with the artist, you know, for making our own, you know, rendition, our own vision of the song. Yeah, I wouldn't really say that we're even breaking records on that. I think breaking records, like actual TikTok records, like the DJ Sage shit going crazy. Shout out to Sage, the heavy hitters, of course, and then like eccentric shit. You got Beyonce, you know. So, you know, like these are goals. They're new goals that were not possible before now. So I think it's really dope for the culture. You see on TikTok, you see on Instagram and Twitter. Every DJ is right in front of their setup. They got the words going. Is this remix? Remix with this song with this song, and then they up, you know, putting it together. So I think it's dope for the culture. But also, I hear a lot of bad remixes now.
and that's gonna happen. But it's giving a DJ, because like the DJ never really gets an opportunity to have credits on like records and publishing. Now it's like turning the DJ into somewhat a producer. And I heard you say you produce as well, so it's like, so that's really smart that you're into producing, because now that makes it a little easier for you to get into the game, everything. Changes the dynamics of like
this mashup culture, this remix culture, which is like I think back for the first time, where it's not like on Spotify. All the other like people I think who's really getting it like that, it was like, all right, cool, like Clue, Ted Smooth, you know, like everyone knows the Beyonce Love on Top, Ted Smooth remix. Like, you feel me? Like now, like Sage has one. She's in that category. Like, oh, I got this. She's in that crate. In Maserati, I got her in that crate. Like, okay, cool. Like, you know, the Wetter joint is in there because this is a notable remix. When you think about If by Janet Jackson, the K-Tronada remix, you know, like that shit goes. So I think it just cements your place in music culture when you have one of those remixes, because it's like everyone is a reference point that everyone's gonna come like, oh, you thought of this? You was the one? Oh yeah, cool, this is lit. But I think the opportunity now and the challenge is for record labels to now start getting behind DJs, to be like, all right, cool, like let me get behind DJ Sage, let me get behind, you know, Eccentric, and like do this more. Like we could sign DJs. I think DJs should be signed to record labels. You know, I think there's a whole DJ, if we want to bring it to sports, there's a whole DJ NBA that's gonna blossom out of this, where like it's gonna be about like signing the hottest DJs that throw the hottest parties, that got the hottest remixes. Like for different reasons, you signing DJs. I think this whole I think this is the big bang of the new era of DJs in regards to like Sage with her success with the Chloe Ray remix, you know, Eccentric with the Beyonce remix. I think this is the big bang. I think there's a bigger thing for DJs now, because it's gonna allow us to connect back with record labels where not only we playing your records, no, you put money behind us. And you're not buying us to play your records. You're buying us to like to do and be the connection to the street and to the culture, you know, like, you know, I feel. I was asked recently to put together a after party for Dreamville. They had their pop-up and threw it together and put some time and resources into it, and amazing party. Like, I feel like that's what labels want. They want the people that's on the ground that can actually throw, you know, to actually produce like great events, can actually curate great music, can actually pick the right DJs. You know, I think, again, it's going to be a DJ NBA in a couple of years, like damn near.
That's interesting.
You know, I think right now you look like the DJ's the new promoter. You look like people following you from venue,
Yeah.
from town to town, from state to state, coast to coast. You know, like we're too connected now.
Yeah.
I think it's getting to the point that like there is going to be. If you look back, like the originals, other than the originals and like the Beat Junkies and maybe a few other crews, like you know that those crews span a lot of years. I think right now there's a lot of that where you have different crews and you know who roll together. And I'm just waiting for like the labels to jump in and be like, nah, we put money behind DJs. Like, oh, you're a Rock Nation DJ. Just whatever. Like, whatnot. Like, oh, got the hat on. Okay, I get it. But you feel me? I'm just sitting here like just thinking like, bruh, there's so much opportunity for labels to bring hip hop back and like really dive into. Well, I won't say bring hip hop back. Bring DJs back. And get behind DJs. DJs are never not going to be a part of music.
For sure.
And never not going to be a part of like, you know, urban music culture.
For
like,
sure.
So with us being empowered, and when I say empowered, like breaking away from just being booked, throwing your own events, ownership and owning your own events. It creates this leverage and this platform now, you know, like I have, like a lot of people around me have, to be able to like, one, broadcast yourself, your brand, your other interests, your other passions.
Yep.
But, you know, as, you know, labels in this, you know, as I see it, DJ NBA starts to blow up and really happen, it's going to be you being paid to, like, promote or create content promoting these artists that's on the roster and getting behind the camp. And that's the street team now. I think that's what it's going to end up being. You know, like anyone who wants to talk to me about this, cool. You know, we got the NDA signed. You know, find me MoreSoupPlease.
These labels are gonna hear this and they're gonna follow suit, bro, because it just makes sense.
It
like,
does.
It's not even just to be biased to the artist that's on that label, but why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you sign the DJ if the DJs are the ones that's fueling the viral TikTok, the viral reels, the this, the that? Why wouldn't you get a DJ on your roster? And it's gonna start happening, like you said, it's gonna be a whole renaissance of just the DJ era again. Like, DJ's always been important, so that's a great outlook. That's a great, like, that's definitely a good point that you're making, for sure.
I mean,
Go ahead.
Nah, I mean, I hope the shit go that way. I was just like, that's how, if I could see it turn into a place that's beneficial for DJs, it's going to be that. It's going to be being able to have that type of backing where, like, because beyond that, like, the only way we really got to, like, you know, for exposure is our mixes. If people happen to see you in real life, you know, or if you're, like, with a team, like, if you with, you know, for example, a Heavy Hitters, if you with, like, if you're a Beat Junkies DJ, if you are with Selection, or like, you know, that's the team thing, the crowdsourcing. So I think the next step of that is definitely going to be the labels getting behind DJs and being like, yo, these are our DJs, like blah, blah, blah. And they're going to be locked into like, you know, year by year contracts. And it's going to become the NBA, because then it's going to be about which DJ got which DJ, you know what I mean? Which label got which DJ. You know, I think it's going to get to a point, because of the ownership and the leverage platform that, like, you know, DJs have, being a promoter now and being the focal point of why people are coming out.
For sure.
It's their own. DJs are going to be just important as artists soon.
That's definitely.
It's just supply and demand. There's too many DJs now, and there's no stopping the production of new DJs. It's too accessible. So now, because there's so many of them, and there's so much of that content just coming out, and like, I'm not gonna say all of it, but a lot of the content sucks. When you do find the outliers or whatnot, those are gonna be the DJs that are gonna get signed. I feel. If I had to sit there and, like, you know, bet on it, that's how I think it will go. You know, but also, you know, it could not go that way, and it could just be whoever got all the social media numbers is the ones who's gonna get signed. It could be that too. So
Okay.
You know, but either way it goes, I try to just not worry about any of that stuff, and I gotta stick to it and just keep creating that vibe and servicing the people and doing what I need to do to like keep my lights on. Like I ain't really, if that shit all happens and works out in my favor, you know, God willing, that's great. But at the end of the day, I'm kind of happy just being able to sustain myself and throw parties and like be able to go to the bodega and shit. Like you know, like this is cool where I'm at right now. This is definitely what I wanted. I wanted to be a DJ and sustain my life off DJing, and it's done.
Dope. You know? And just a few more questions, but it's like people see where you're at and they might have a perception of it like, damn, he was just a photographer and now he's the biggest DJ in New York City, but they don't understand. Like even for me too, like people don't understand the reps that's been put in and all of the things we did for free to get to the point that we're at now. Could you talk about the importance of sacrificing your time, working for free, and like making your own opportunities by using your skills and like, because we've did many things, but also, not to make it a long-winded question, you've been in a room with the biggest, you've documented the biggest artists. Like if it's from DJing with them or taking photos of them, your catalog is crazy. You can make a whole photo book out of it. But how important was you swallowing your pride and just knowing that it's important to do certain things for free to get to where you're at, to be booked up almost every day out the month at this point? How important was working for free, and like why should up and coming creatives understand that you gotta do some things for free?
Your effort level shouldn't change because of the money on the table. If your effort could be bought, then you know what's your effort really worth?
That's all.
That's how I figured. Like I do a lot of stuff for free. Like I gotta find the value in it because I'm gonna finesse it. I'm gonna flip it. It's valuable to me. Cool. You ain't gotta pay me. I need press pass. I get a press pass. Word. You ain't gotta pay me. Bet. It's worth something to me. Like those photos I'm gonna take is worth money.
You own that IP to
I
those
own
photos.
It. Yeah. Like I got access. Thank you. Like Like cool. What? I'm gonna take $500. Like. I'm not gonna do it because you don't want to pay me What the fuck is $500? What's $500 when I own the IP? I own the image. I took the image. I own it. Like for you to get it and own it or lease it, you're gonna have to pay me. You know, like I've never released a book. I've never had a photo show. You know, I have thousands of photos that I own the IP on. Like
catalog, valuable.
It's mine. Like, yeah, don't get me wrong, famous people is in it. Like, but I own the photo. You know, I probably won't get permission to like fully publish until like I reach out and do X, Y, and Z and like handle the splits and shit. But at the end of the day, I still own the images, and ownership is the most important thing in this world in regards in a non-possessive way. Like, you know, ownership. You gotta own things. We gotta own things as black people.
Right.
You know, you need to own your parties. You need to LLC and trademark your names. You know, you need to make sure your likeness cannot be duplicated. You know, you need to make sure you own your IP. You are your IP in today's world. Like, you don't, Star Wars and Marvel and shit, like, more soup, please. Like, that's how I look at it, like, straight up. So, I think everyone needs to look at themselves as their own IP and figure out how to make sure they own their content and own various things within their brand, you know, so no one can infringe on your stuff. Because, like, as soon as you get up, somebody gonna be looking at you like, oh yeah, I'm gonna jack this. You know, like, that's what a lot of our favorite people that we support now do. You know, like, hate to say it, but, like, everyone's shit getting jacked, so it's just like, ownership is the biggest key here. I think when you start to move into an ownership mindset, you start to see the world, and also a global mindset. Like, don't just worry about like this one market, like New York market. Like, bro, when things started to change for me, when I started to think on a global scale of like, yo, I want to be in Europe. I want to have a presence in Europe. But, you know, I also want to be in Toronto. Like, what's Brazil like? Like, I'm going to Motherland next year for the first time. I'm going to Joburg for the first time in April. I'm going. It's just like, but you start to move differently. You stop being so concerned about trying to compete. I know what works here for me in New York. I'm going to keep doing what works for me. And then I'm out. You know, one person who does that like at a very high level, and I always applaud him, OG. You know, like Moma does that. DJ Moma, like literally throws his parties and then goes to Africa, and I'm just like, yo, I gotta go over there. Like I gotta go see what's up. But like I'm trying to think on a global scale. Like I want to be able to move about this earth and create and live, but no, I'm gonna be good financially because of what I do, and I could do it anywhere. You know, I could just literally set up shop and create the reference point. People won't show up. So it's just again, the ownership mindset, global mindset, that shit changes your life. If I could say anything, yeah.
That's amazing, bro. That's amazing. And it's a great point where you hit on the ownership, making an opportunity into an opportunity, even if it's not a paid gig, you still could find the value in doing that. Like you hit on so much valuable things for creatives in this conversation, man.
Nah, real rap. If your effort and interest is gonna change based on money, is like, were you ever interested in the craft or were you interested in the money? Like, don't get me wrong, I'm money driven. I'm on the grind. I'm for the bag. It's the year of the bag, 2023. But yeah, like you gotta, that pride part of like trying to get the bag all the time is you can't always get the bag. Sometimes the bag is the opportunity. Wow, that was just like sometimes the bag is the opportunity.
That's hard.
You know, like
yeah.
So like the opportunity becomes a journey and you just go through it. But like that bag you would have got, that $500 that you, like now someone is just like looking at you crazy because like you just hit them over the head, 500, now they don't want to do something.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just gotta be hungry to do shit. Like I hit up so much people and I do shit for free. I do shit for free, like absolutely. Like if I was rich, y'all wouldn't see me. Straight up, like, but I gotta keep my lights on. I gotta keep relationships flowing. I gotta keep new relationships because old relationships aren't gonna sit here and just like support you and fund your life. You have to keep new relationships coming in. So you have to go out and consistently be doing stuff for free. You have to go out and do stuff, not saying like, oh, word, just sell yourself short for free. But you have to understand when you see an opportunity and you want it, you know when you want it and you be upset that, oh, you're not getting the bread. Go and do it. Get the access. Get the experience. That the experience is the bag.
Yep. Prove that you were supposed to be there through your work. Like,
I mean, definitely that. Like again, that's what I'm saying. Finesse the opportunity.
Yeah.
But if you can't understand that you gotta sometimes say fuck the bread and go get the experience, and then take from that what you may, like you're not gonna be able to do a lot of things because the bag isn't always gonna show up. Like the bag isn't always gonna be there, and it's not gonna be the bag you always want. You know, like shit, if I could only sit here and get bags that was like 10 bands a bag, like, alright, like cool, I might make 20 bands for the year, but like what? I'm gonna live off 20 bands? Like, nah, I gotta go out and get these other bags and understand that, you know, it may just lead to an opportunity that's gonna lead to a shot at getting a bag because it's gonna give me, you just give me the opportunity to demonstrate what I can do at a high level. Cool, bet. Like, you'll be back, and then I'm gonna hit you with the press kit, and it's what's up. So, you know, I think, you know, if you are looking for the bag, just focus on the opportunity. Like, you gotta be hungry for opportunity more than money. Like, straight up. If you cannot hungry for the opportunity, I don't understand how the money's ever gonna be coming in at a consistent level.
Right.
You be hungry for the opportunity, that you get good and prolific at what it is you are doing, so the bag just comes now because you took that, the opportunity is it. Like, it just stems from the opportunity. You know, me and you met, like, because we went and did something for the opportunity. We wasn't getting paid. You know, like, we sat here and did it, but from there, it built, and it you know, it's a full circle moment because we were able to come back together and do stuff. So, again, the opportunity is the bag.
For sure.
So,
for sure. Amazing, bro. Amazing, bro. 2 more questions.
Yes, sir.
What's your most prolific, the photo you're most proud of taking of somebody? It doesn't have to be a celebrity or maybe a celebrity, but what photo are you most proud of taking that image of?
Photo I'm most proud of taking. There's a picture from the riots. I posted it now and then. I don't think people really catch on, but when there's a photo from the riots out here, you know, 2020,
Yep.
and it was just like, I shot on the 85, shot it with my Sony, and it was just a shot into a crowd of people, and they all got signs, whether it's like, Trayvon Martin, and other black men, black kids that have been slain, Freddie, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So they got signs up, and they holding up Black Power signs, and there's like a gang of them walking through. I'm gonna show you when we get off. And there's another sign that's in the upper right that said, "We are not target practice." And then you see cutouts, and you see some things that are symbolic of, like, our slain, black people. And it's in black and white, and it's just mad people. And you could just tell by everyone's expression that we fed up. So that's, for me, one of my favorite photos. Also, and honorable mention, I'm a Nets DJ. I'm a DJ for the Brooklyn Nets.
Wow.
Brooklyn Nets.
That's amazing,
It's been a traumatic year, but we still here. Shout out Mikal Bridges cooking up, and I have a picture of Kyrie, and Kyrie standing beside Kevin Durant, and Kevin Durant's looking this way, and Kyrie's kind of looking towards them, but you could tell they're talking in conversation. They just like, there's no basketball in hand. They're just like talking, standing on the court. It was one of my favorite photos. That is now, there's gonna be a 30-30 on the Brooklyn Nets in some years. But to be able to have that, and because I took the opportunity, I wouldn't get paid to shoot no games. All these photography things that you're seeing, like whether it's music or like it's basketball, because I've dived in. I really want to shoot the NBA and shoot basketball for the rest of my life. That's something I'm focusing on. But I took every opportunity. I'm sneaking my camera in. Like, you best believe. Like, what you mean? These are the most influential people on the planet in regards to social media. So yeah, I need photos of them. Yeah, I love this game. I need photos of them.
And you love the game.
Oh, I'm in the building. I'm DJing. I got a Nets jersey. Like, what's up?
The ex-New Jersey Nets. Like, you being from Jersey, now you're the DJ of the Brooklyn Nets. That's amazing, bro.
It's crazy. I appreciate that. It's crazy. It's full circle, but again, like, it just adds to the story. And as far as I'm concerned, if this was a book, we still in the preface. We're not even into the book yet. We just trying to fine-tune things so we could really get like the capital together and get like the overall vision together, really take off and do stuff on a global scale. So that would be my favorite. Those would be my favorite photos, those two, if I had to sit there and go right off the back. But then I just start, like, I'm thinking now, I'm like, yo, I can actually bring this in, bring that.
Yeah.
It's so much. Just know the gallery show is coming this year.
Oh, I'm excited for that. I don't know what's going to be called. You immortalize people with some of your photos, like people that's not here anymore and stuff like that. So I know that gallery is going to be crazy. Like, you got photos of the late, great Virgil, too, right?
Yep.
It just goes on and on.
I was literally in London when Tyler, the Creator, dropped Igor. And I'm like, all right, cool, I'm going to the show. They let Tyler, this is the first time Tyler's been back in 5 years because he's been banned from London. They let him back in the country. So he's like, I'm throwing a show in Peckham, and I played Peckham Ride Fest back in like 2016, 16 and whatnot. So I'm like, oh, we in Peckham the hood of London. I'm in there, all these white kids, I'm like, all right, I'm here. I'm the only person with a camera. I see Virgil. Pop, pop. What's the joint say? I'm a photographer. When I get in the room, I'm like, pop. I'm like, got my Virgil photos real quick, and then I'm sitting here like, got my shit scoped out of like where I'm about to be. I got an 85. You got the crop mode on the Sony, so that 85 could be easy at 160 because you got the crop mode, so you could extendo. And then the R3 is at that point, 50 megapixels, 42 megapixels, so it's like cropping, I'm good. Someone climbs a building, and they shut the whole shit down. I'm telling you, I ain't see a camera the whole fucking day, bro. What? Like, yo, So I ain't get no pictures of Tyler that day. I was tight, but I got my Virgil pictures. So
You got the Virgil pic.
Yeah, that's up.
That's
so,
like
private. That's in the private collection, man. Like, so I'm excited about that. But yeah, man. Again, the opportunity. Like, you can't do shit for money. You have to do things because you see something. It's a vision. You got to see it and be like, I see what this can be. You got to bet on yourself that you're gonna make it happen. So. Don't be blind to the money, y'all. Don't let money blind y'all. If I could leave y'all on that question with that, don't let money blind y'all, man.
Yo, MoreSoupPlease. Thank you so much for pulling up and having this conversation.
Thank y'all for having me. I appreciate you.
And this ain't our last. Years down the line, we gotta have more because I know you got so much more that's gonna happen.
People be wondering like, so why did you name MoreSoupPlease? Blah blah. So like, my last name is Campbell. My name is Isaac Campbell.
Oh
so,
wow.
My last name is Campbell. Like, my pops was always Soup on the basketball court. They call him Soup. But then I was Lil Soup, and then I started dunking on niggas, and then I was it was like, yo, you old Soup. That's Soup now. That's Soup. So like, I was always called Soup. Like when we talking about high school, college, and shit and whatnot. And when Instagram came out, I was just like, I need something. I'm not about to change this because I'm like, I just don't want to have to ever worry about it. It's like the new AOL, thinking, you know, all right, cool, I'm just gonna keep this name, you know. And I was like, MoreSoupPlease. And then like from there, like I was trying to make soup into this acronym, this weird acronym. I remember it was like seeking our unlimited potential. It was like a real fucking reach. But then I was like, my last name is Soup, so we just gonna rock with that. Fuck it, like, you know. But yeah, that's MoreSoupPlease. So then I went from there. When I was talking about the ownership role, I was like, all right, cool. So more R&B, please. More hits, please. You know, more vibes, which is my Afro-Caribbean party. More soul is my soul party. You know, I'm trying to figure out if I'm gonna throw a Juneteenth party. More freedom, please. Like, whatever. Like, more, please. I think I need to be dropping merch that just says more, please. Anyway, like, straight up. Like, I want more, please. I'm not really satisfied with not getting what I feel I deserve, or like the growth. You know, this journey is addicting because you start to understand that you can really accomplish it that you put your mind to. So I'll just be like, more, please. I need more of that. I'm trying to take more trips, be on more flights, get more bags, have more opportunities, connect with more people, touch more lives, you know, so more, please.
You bodied that. Is there anybody out there understand that? You bodied that, yeah.
If I could turn around, please, like, turn around. But that's how I look at it, man.
Yo, shout out you, man. Thank you.
Man, no problem. I appreciate y'all having me, bro.